So this passage obviously is about fruit. Now, I wanted to comment a couple things on this because this is a profound statement that we see not only in the scriptures but in our everyday life about the fruit. And I'd like to read, I said a couple homilies ago that I don't like to read things, and I read something a couple weeks ago, and now I'm going to read a letter. It's just one page, but I want to read, this is something written by Father Jason Lewis that I would like to read because I've gotten a lot of criticism, and in some way understandably so, about me taking a pilgrimage to Poland, to Prague, and to Medjugorje. And I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about that because I think it directly relates to fruit. And you'll see why, not only in what I've observed, the fruits that I have seen. Now, I'm not endorsing Medjugorje. This is very important. As provincial superior, I have never and will never tell one of our priests until the church makes a definitive statement about devotion to Medjugorje, that they need to have it or they cannot have it. And the reason why is the church has not ruled officially on this. It has not condemned it either. And there's been the early apparitions have already been approved. But it's non-constat, which has not been ruled either, has not been ruled supernatural, but it's not been condemned. And I go by the fruits, okay? The reason that I'm going is I look at the fruits of vocations. Father Don Calloway, he is the fruit of Medjugorje. Father Jason Lewis, who I just mentioned, is absolutely the fruit of Medjugorje. Our priest, Angelo Casimiro, he is the fruit of Medjugorje. These are Father Michael Baker, Marian priest. He is the fruit of Medjugorje. So to me, to deny that would be deny my own brothers. And one of the greatest priests, non-Marian priests that I know, have ever known, is Father Charles Mangano out of New York, out of Long Island. This priest is the exemplary of the priesthood, and he'll be bringing a pilgrimage up here, and he is 100%, his vocation, his priesthood came from Medjugorje. Is this an endorsement from Medjugorje? No, I cannot do that. What I'm trying to say is the fruit that I have seen that comes from it. I struggle to believe or to understand that that could come from Satan. So I'd like to read this letter because I think it addresses this question quite well, written by Father Jason, that it understands better about a pilgrimage to Medjugorje. So if I may. The Holy See has made no official declaration on the alleged supernatural revelations of the 6 visionaries of Medjugorje. That means it has not declared the revelations are either of supernatural origin or not of supernatural origin. Now remember, they approved the first week of apparitions, the church has. Authority over the ongoing evaluation of the alleged revelations, as well as the pastoral care of the parish, which is St. James, in Medjugorje, are now directly under the authority of the Holy See. This is unprecedented, never happened before. This means it is not condemned. So please, all of you that are dragging us Marians through the mud saying we're promoting something that's been condemned, that is not true. First of all, it's not been condemned. And secondly, just going on a pilgrimage does not mean we are endorsing it as 100% supernatural. The reason why is the church has said pilgrimages can go there. I'll read this in a minute. Authority of any local bishop or national or regional committee of bishops, authority of a local bishop or national or regional committee of bishops has been removed. It's all been removed. All authority of any local bishop, national or regional committee of bishops has been removed. For the first time in the history of the church, the Holy See intervened and assumed jurisdiction over this alleged apparition site. Notice I say alleged. Through the initiative of Pope Benedict XVI, a commission was established in 2010 to investigate the happenings of Medjugorje. It was chaired by Cardinal Camillo Ruini and consisted of 5 other cardinals, 5 theologians, 2 psychologists, an anthropologist, a canonist, and the speaker of the cause of the saints, and an official from the CDF, which is now the Dicastery, the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith. On May 11th, 2019, Pope Francis authorized, now this is the part I'd like you to hear, please. On May 11, 2019, Pope Francis authorized the organization of pilgrimages to Medjugorje, permitting dioceses and clerics, that's me, to visit the site and guide pilgrims. Vatican, so please, please, these nasty letters, I am not going against the church. I'm going with the church. Vatican's statement added that due to the high volume of pilgrims to Medjugorje and the abundant, listen to this part, ties to the gospel, and the, quote, abundant fruits of grace that flow from it. That's the words of the Vatican. The abundant fruits of grace that flow from it. Just because it's supernatural or not does not mean there can't be fruits and grace. Does not have to be declared supernatural to see that there's fruits and grace. The permission to make pilgrimages, quote, is part of the particular pastoral attention that the Holy Father intended to give to this reality aimed at favoring and promoting the fruits of good, end quote. The Holy Father himself said there is good fruit. Without determining supernatural or not, it is good fruit. This is his words, not me. Please put the pen down. The Vatican statement again reaffirms that the Church has not made an official determination on the supernatural character of the apparitions, but it acknowledges the good fruit produced. This is our gospel passage today. At the invitation of Archbishop Hoser, God rest his soul, 14 archbishops and bishops, over 700 priests, and more than 60,000 young adults from 97 countries attended the 30th Annual Youth Festival in 2019 in Medjugorje. Hoser had communicated directly to religious communities that were currently present in Medjugorje that they have received apostolic approbation from the Vatican to be present for ministry in Medjugorje and to receive pilgrims led by priests. Archbishop Luigi Pizzuto, the apostolic nuncio to Bosnia-Herzegovina, delivered the New Year's Eve homily, which I and Father Jason were at. We were there at St. James, on the Feast of Mary, the Mother of God. Significant statements that he said mention that we are on a pilgrimage. This is the words of the apostolic nuncio that brings us to this Marian destination, he said, St. James, the temple of the Queen of Peace that is located here in Medjugorje, Herzegovina. He referred to Mary as the Queen of Peace, and then this is what blew Brother Jason and I away. At the time he was brother, now he's priest. He called her the Queen of Divine Mercy. The Queen of Divine Mercy. I said, this is why the Lord, I felt, had brought me there. Pizzuto is the representative of the Holy See. And he was there speaking very favorably of the fruits, and making direct reference to the title of Mary of Medjugorje as the Queen of Divine Mercy. Again, it does not have to be declared supernatural at this point to see there is fruits. If it's condemned, that's a different story, but it's not condemned. any apparition, whether approved or not, fall under the category of private revelation. Now, am I up here telling you have to believe in it? No. No person is obliged to believe in or express devotion to any particular private revelation. Since the church's evaluation of the apparitions are ongoing and open, any expression of belief in the supernatural origin of the alleged apparitions is not only private, but also personal. You don't have to believe this, but you cannot condemn somebody who does. That's the key. The church does not forbid express devotion of faith in apparition sites that have not been officially recognized. That's Medjugorje. The apparitions of Medjugorje have not been to be determined to be of supernatural origin, as I have said. Therefore, individual persons are free to express their personal belief or disbelief in the supernatural origin of the apparitions. In fact, many bishops, priests, theologians, and even popes have expressed their personal opinions on either side. To finish, last paragraph. As a son of the church, now this is Father Jason Lewis's words, as a son of the church, I will always comply and be obedient to any official determination of the church in the realm of doctrine, that is, faith and morals. Since the church has not made a negative determination on Medjugorje, I am free to express my personal belief in the nature of the apparitions, and now, through the ruling of the church, lead pilgrimages. Archbishop Hoser said, I believe that the message of peace, which is central here in Medjugorje, is intended for the whole world. Medjugorje represents Europe's spiritual lungs, a place where millions discover God and the beauties of the church and the fruit contained therein. Archbishop Hoser said the Pope had, quote, opened a great door to enter Medjugorje, end quote, with his May 12, 2019 decree, adding he was, quote, personally and intimately convinced that the Marian Center offered, quote, a model for new evangelization. And so, to finish, the fact that the apparitions are still continuing is the main obstacle for the final ruling. People ask, well, Father, if this is a good place, why isn't it approved? Mainly because it's not finished. You really can't approve something as supernatural when the apparitions are still going on, since it is hard to decide on something which hasn't finished. For now, the question of recognizing the authenticity of the apparitions remains in the hands of the Secretariat of State. Archbishop Hoser said he hoped more priests will come. Now, this is the representative of the Holy See, saying he hoped more priests will come to provide sacraments and catechesis training in Medjugorje. I went there before, and I was in the confessional, and when I came out of the confessional, I had one of the most profound pastoral moments of my entire priesthood. A young lady who was going to commit suicide, and I spoke to her for 45 minutes and found out she didn't speak English. I was talking to her in English, and at the end of the conversation, I said how beautiful English she spoke. She was from Ukraine. And she said, Father, I don't speak English. I only speak Ukrainian. And I said, well, you're speaking to me in English. She said, no, Father, you're speaking to me in Ukrainian. That sold me on the fruits of Medjugorje. Here's a lady who's going to take her life, and just the literal week earlier, Father Jason and I had finished our book called After Suicide. There's hope for them in you, and to help her pastorally as best I could to overcome her desire to take her own life. It was only 45 minutes, but the entire conversation, she heard me in Ukrainian, and I heard her in English. I don't speak Ukrainian, she didn't speak English. To me, that's fruit. That's fruit. Am I endorsing this? Am I declaring it supernatural? Please don't write me hate-filled letters. I am not declaring this supernatural. I'm just declaring it fruit. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've lived it. And so this letter written by Father Jason Lewis, I hope helps to shed some light on why I'm not condemning our Marian priests from going on pilgrimage to Medjugorje. We pray that the church will clarify this in the future, and if they say it is condemned, you'll never see us lead another pilgrimage. So God bless you, and I hope that that explains a little bit more about the fruit. God bless you.